some say experience is your best teacher. I say experience is not always your best teacher. Now don't get me wrong, experience can afford us great amounts of wisdom, knowledge, and also discernment. But there are certain situations where, honestly, you can just look at someone else's situation and know, I think I wouldn't do it exactly that way. Or you can just use your common sense, your moral compass, what you learned from what your parents taught you growing up. Now, I want to present you with 3 situations where I think that you do not need to experience it in order to know what to do or to learn what it is you want to learn. Number 1, relationships. There are some people out here, and I even thought this at one time as well, who think that you have to go from relationship to relationship to relationship in order to know what it is you want to find in a quality mate. That is not true. I've seen people go from one relationship to another, to another, to another, to another. And the truth be told, there are some people out here in the world who met that one soulmate, married, and have been married for years. You don't necessarily need to go from relationship to relationship in order to find that mate. I also see out here a lot of what they call struggle relationships. You definitely do not want to be in a relationship with someone who does not share your morals, your values. You are, doing things you normally wouldn't do because you want someone in your life. And I understand that you want to be with someone. You want someone who's going to share, you're going to have commonalities with you. Again, that moral value compass. You want to share that with someone, but you don't want it to come with a price. You don't want to lose yourself in that. And I feel as though struggle relationships are not good relationships at all. Nobody will make you struggle. Yeah, you're going to go through struggles that should be teaching you something, but you should never be in those types of relationships. Those are bad relationships. I would not advise them. Number 2, sex. You do not have to experience sex because other people have experienced it, or worse, experience it because you want to make sure that your mate, the person you're going to be with, is good in bed. No. Having multiple sexual partners is not a good thing. There are sexually transmitted diseases out here. Some that can burn through condoms. I've heard of at least one that can burn through a condom. There's unwanted pregnancies with that too. And also, you don't want to just give of yourself to any and everybody. That is very personal, and that's really connected to a lot of emotions. It can evoke emotions that you really never knew that you had. Now, along the lines of sexually transmitted diseases, there are folks out here walking around right now who have sexually transmitted diseases, and you don't necessarily know it because you don't always know how it looks on a person. So, there are many people walking around with a sexually transmitted disease who wish if they could go back and change things, they wouldn't have had sex. There are people dead and cold in the ground right now who died due to complications of a sexually transmitted disease. Oh, believe me, if the grounds could talk, a lot of them would say the same thing. There are people out here who've had children who wish they had thought before they laid down and had sex. They didn't even anticipate that. It just felt good at the moment. And they did it. Number 3, drugs. You do not have to experience drugs of any kind. except for what the doctor may prescribe. And then there are people who can get hooked on that, and that just becomes a whole nother bad situation. But your street drugs, your illegal drugs, you don't have to experience those just because somebody told you that it feels good, or you want to be cool, or you want to fit in with the crowd. Have you ever heard of the basketball player named Len Bias, who was drafted, I believe, by the Boston Celtics back in the 80s, and he went to a party, used drugs, and died? Again, I'm sure that there are people who are cold in the ground who wish that they had to take that one hit or multiple hits, they'd still be alive. There are some people out there who are hooked right now who wish they weren't. I hope this teaches you something today. Thanks.